So the first step that we need to do is create our income section. And these are fake names that I'm putting in here, Jack and Jill. You can put your names in here, other, and then also a total income. And as far as the expenses go, I'm just going to put down standard expenses. Of course, yours is going to be different, but you'll get the gist of it and see how I'm doing it, and you can customize it. You customize your sheet as you like. We're going to copy from car loan down to car maintenance. And what I did here is put your box over car loan, hold down the shift button and the down arrow to highlight the 4 cells. Then I hold down Control C to copy, or just push Control C to copy. Then use your down arrow to go to the empty cell, and then I push Control V, which is a shortcut to paste. And then you hit your escape button, which is on your top left corner of your keyboard, and as these are highlighted, you can hit Control F for the find and replace dialog box. Click on replace and find what? We're going to find car, and we're going to replace it with truck. And what it's going to happen is it's going to look at only the cells that are highlighted, which is these 4. It's going to find the car in each and replace each car with truck. We're going to put fuel and total auto, and then Jack has 3 credit cards. Put Jack credit card 1. Then what I'm going to do here is hit Control D to copy the cell that's above it. Press F2, hit the backspace, and replace the 1 with the 2. And then I'm going to go back to the first credit card 1 right here. Hold down Shift, push the down arrow to highlight, and take my mouse and this little box right here I'm going to grab with my mouse and drag down, and so now I have 1, 2, and 3. And then what I'm going to do now is highlight. That's hold down your Shift and down arrow, let go of Shift, hold down Control button, hit the C, let go, down arrow, hold down Control, hit V, that's the paste, hit the execute button on the top left corner, and now we're going to replace Jack with Jill. So hold down the Control and hit the F. That's going to bring up the find and replace box. Go to replace, put in Jack and Jill, and then hit replace all. And it's going to tell you that you made 3 replacements. So we have Those guys are done. Then we have Jack. Jack has a school loan. Oops. And Jill has a school loan, so we're going to hit Control D to copy down. Press F2 to go inside the box, the cell, excuse me, go inside the cell. Press the home key to go to the beginning. Press delete to delete Jack and replace with Jill. And that's the total of loans that they have. And let's see here. Next one's going to be just miscellaneous items like a cell phone, life insurance. Next one's going to be gym membership, so I just hit Control D to copy the one above. Press F2, press home, delete warehouse, and then type in gym. This way you don't have to retype membership 2 times. College savings, that's if you have children and if you're putting money away for them. Also, you can do is Control D to copy, F2, press home, and then write total groceries. Because I have that one in its own category. So now we're just going to enter in some figures. These are just hypothetical, doesn't really mean anything, but just more for an example. So I'm just going to just type these in. Now you can see it says equals sum C5 to C7. It's highlighted here. This is the area that it's going to calculate, and it's going to give you the total amount. And we're going to do the same thing for each total. Just click down here. So the Autosum is on the home page, and you click over here to the right. Just click on Autosum, highlights the whole thing, press the enter key. This one here, there's some spaces, so we'll still do the same thing, click Autosum, but it won't go all the way to the top because there's a space. So you just have to click on the corner and drag it to the top. Go down to total loan, Autosum it, and total other. And also total groceries, and then the total expenses. We're actually going to do the same thing, Autosum, except I'm going to drag it down here and then drag it all the way to the top. Just the expenses. And then in the formula box, click inside the formula box. Then you want to hit divide by 2. The reason, and then press the enter key. And so now it's 6,900. And then the profit and loss is going to be equal. Scroll up to total income. Hit the minus sign. Scroll down to total expenses. press the Enter key. Then we're going to click on C5 and hit the divide and click on total income. And then here we're going to press F4 to put the dollar signs around it, except we want it to be $8. What's going to happen there is we can copy this formula down, and the total income portion of the formula will not change. And then we're going to press Enter. And then I'll show you what would happen if there is no income here for Jack. You'll get a 0. And if there's no income at all, you're going to get this error type of message. And now what I'm going to show you is a formula called IFERROR. I'm going to input into this formula that will get rid of this error message. And what we're going to do now is press F2, press the home button, click your right arrow, so it's going to be equal, and you type in IFERROR, hit the tab button, and you leave the formula as is, but now we're going to put in a comma and a parenthesis and a 0 and a percent and another, did I say parenthesis? I meant quotation mark. Now another quotation mark, and then you close the parentheses and press Enter. So now after you do that, we're going to make it right aligned. Click this to make it to the right. And with this formula, actually I need to put these amounts back in. I'm going to left click on column C, then right click and make a comma. Then on column D, we're going to right click and click the percentage. We're going to copy, that's Control C, Control V, and Control V. And you can see where the boxes are being highlighted by pressing the F2 button just to double check. You can see blue is highlighted here, and the green's highlighted down here. This tells you the blue and this is showing you the green. That's perfect. Just hit Control C to copy, and then Control V under mortgage. And then now what's going to happen is you hit F2 and it's taking the mortgage amount, because that is C11, and it's dividing by C8, which is total income. Now we just have to take this box and then move it down to the total for the household. Press Enter. And then what you can do really quickly is just hold down the Shift button, go all the way down to yard maintenance. What's up? Yard maintenance. And hit Control D, copies all the percentages down. We'll do the same thing. Just copy this down to the next row or next grouping. Hit F2. Take this box, move it down to total auto. Press Enter. Highlight, bring it all the way down. Control D. Copy this one, bring it here. Use your mouse, use keyboard, hold down Shift, left click here, and then Control D brings it all the way down. Actually, I forgot to copy this down, so we'll fix that real quick. Just verify this one, that one's good, those are good. Control C, copy, Control V to paste. F2, change the totals to its own groupings. Bring it down. Same thing for groceries. So next, what we need to do is put in the percentages for the total amounts. I'm not going to do it for the total income because this is the 100%. Income is, when you add all three of these boxes, it equals 100. There's no need for me to put in 100% there. You can if you like, but I think it's not necessary. So for total household, what I'm going to do is, the easiest way to take a formula and use it somewhere else is just to copy it and paste it here. Now, actually let me take one of these, this one, and paste it here. And what's going to happen is it's taking the total household and it's dividing it by total auto. We're going to take this box and we're going to move it down to total expenses and then press the enter key. Then we can take this one and just copy it and paste it total auto, paste it in total loan, paste it in total other, and total groceries. Hit F2, you can see that total expenses is highlighted and total groceries. What this percentage is doing, it's telling you for the grouping what the percentage of the grouping expenses is as an overall expense. So, and these little percentages is within this grouping itself. So cell phone is 6% of total. Life insurance is 3% of this total other. Let's see, child care is 49% of total other. But as an overall expense, big picture look, total other is 24%. Total loan is 14%. 21% is for total auto. 24% for total household. And our total expenses, we're going to also copy this here. And instead of C54, oops, there we go. C54, we're going to turn this into C8s. And also for profit and loss. 19% here under the profit and loss section means that you made a 19% increase and you are a 19% profit. Total income was $8,500. Total expenses was $6,900. Since income was greater than expenses, you have a gain, and your gain is 19%. So now we're going to do a little bit of formatting, and we're going to use the format painter and also a little bit of borders. So under income, I'm going to click income and hit the control button to highlight expenses and hit the B to bold it. And total income and the amount here and the percentage I'm going to bold as well. And then I'm going to click on C8, drag over to D8, and here we're going to use some borders. And the border that I like is top and thick bottom border. You can use a border if you want, you don't have to. And then I'm going to copy B8 and drag over to D8 and hit the format painter. But I'm going to click the format painter 2 times, a double click, and click total household, total auto, total loan, total other, total groceries, and total expenses. And then unclick Format Painter, click on Profit and Loss, click Bold, highlight C56 to D56, and instead of the same borders we had with the other ones, I'm going to do a top and double bottom border. Represent that the totals are completed, it's done. And then also I'm going to bold this too. A shortcut's also Control B. That is a shortcut for bold. Let's see, double check these, make sure they look good. And then also with my preference is I like to add a spacer column. So I'm going to right click, left click on Insert. Then I'm going to right click again on C. Click on Column Width. Change my column width to a 1. And then I'm going to hit Control C to copy. And then I'm going to right click on column F and insert copied cell. And so now I have a spacer here and a column spacer here. That's just my preference, and also as I show you later on in the video, that it's very useful to have this spacer in here. So click on D3 to E3 and merge and center, and we're going to type in January, and also we're going to make this bold. Control B is also the shortcut for bold. And we are going to highlight column C through E and hit Control C to copy. Click on G1, Control V to paste, and then hit your execute button. And then now we're going to get rid of these amounts because we don't want these amounts being copied over. So what I'm doing here is clicking on H21, hold down Shift, and then click on H29 and then hit the delete key on your keyboard. I use a lot of keyboard shortcuts, so I apologize if it's a little difficult to follow along. I'm really trying my best to explain everything that I'm doing. What I did here now is I clicked on E5, I held down Shift, and then left click on E56, then let go, hold down Control, left click on I56, because what you're doing, you're skipping this area, and then you're going to scroll up, hold down Shift, left click on I5. So I just highlighted this area because I noticed this was not right aligned my percentages for the totals. So we're going to fix that and just click right align 2 times to get that all corrected. And now since I have 0 amounts, 0 percentages, it's good for us to go ahead and copy over. And I just noticed I have a double space here. We're going to delete that. Actually, I'm going to copy this one, F to H, Control C to copy, and then copy over. And not to worry about the January, we're going to fix that here in a second. So we just want to make sure we have actually 13 columns including January. So that should be 13. I'm going to do a real quick count here. So what I did here is I took AO and hold down the Shift, went to all the way to the left until it stopped. And then down here it shows you a count 13. So I know I have 13 columns. And I'm going to copy this spacer and put it in AP. So now I have a spacer. The next part is going to take January, and I'll show you a quick way to make it January, February, March, April, May, and so on. And then this last one is going to be a total. So for the time being, we are going to unmerge and center row 3. Click on C3 and highlight over to D3. Then we're going to take this bottom corner and we're going to drag it over. As you can see, when you highlight over G, it says February. So we're going to drag this all the way over to AL and let go, and now it's December. So it's January, February, March, April, May, and so on. And then now we're going to have to remerge, but we can do it pretty quickly. Highlight D3 to E3, click merge and center, and then what you can do is you can click on G. I'll show you on this one. J3 highlight to K3 and press F4 on your keyboard. And what F4 is a repeat of the prior action. And since we clicked merge and center, it's going to copy that action by pressing F4. So we can just go right through this, not have to click on merge and center each time, and just do it real quick. I'm going to make this a YTD total. YTD short for year to dates. We're going to press the enter key. Now we're going to sum up January through December. So D5, press the plus button, and then we're going to add. We're only going to really have to do this one time, and then we can copy it all the way down. Rest of them. Now what I'm doing here is I hit Control C, copy, and then now I'm going to Control V to paste, and then use the down arrow down. Also highlight the whole thing and hit Control V. Another quick way, just the whole thing, Control V, Control V. You can test it by pressing F2. You can see what it's going to be adding up. This will give you a good year-to-date total, year-to-date, because it's going to be adding as you add your numbers to each month. And when you do this, it's good to compare month to month when you're in the current year. And then after you complete this for the first year and you complete a second year, it's good to see year-to-date totals and you can compare year over year. So now let's hit Control Home. Take us all the way to the left top corner and click on Data on your top. And we're going to group income, and we're going to group expenses by categories. We're also going to be grouping the months. And you'll see why we have these spacers in here. That's going to help out when we start grouping them. So to use a group, we're going to highlight row 5 down to Other. So 5, 6, and 7. And just click on Group. And what I'll show you what's going to happen now is this popped up. You can click on the minus sign, and now you just see total income. Or you can hit the plus sign, and it opens back up. Really nice and convenient. If you don't want to really see the details, you just want to see the totals, you can just click on this, open, and you can close it and open it. So we're going to do that for each expense group. Just highlight 11 all the way down right above the total, and then click on group. We'll keep doing it for each one. Another quick way is using F4, which is to repeat the action. You click here, highlight, hit F4. Click, highlight, F4, repeats the action. And then we're also going to do a total expense grouping. So click on row 11 and go down. I'm going to hold down the shift key, click 53, and then F4, which gave us the entire expenses as a grouping. And now we're going to do the same thing, but for the columns with the months. Highlight column D to column E, click. Then now we're just going to do G and H and hit F4, IK F4, and just keep on going. It's really quick when you start using F4 and other keyboard shortcuts. So I'll show you what it looks like. December, January, October, just close these up. You can hit the minus sign or hit the line. Get these closed up, get the income closed up. And we'll go down to the total expense and close up the whole thing. So it's just really quick and easy. Here's the total income for January, total expenses for January, total profit and loss. And open this up for February, plug in your data, open this up, plug in the rest of your expenses, and then if you want to do an easy compare, top level compare, total income, expenses, profit, or gain or loss. Okay, so we're going to just open these all back up. Scroll through them, make sure they're all open. Top, I didn't put groupings over year to date because there's no need to have the year to date closing, because that's always going to remain open. You can also, if you want to do a quarter, January through March, if you want to group that, you can group that as well. Close up the whole quarter if you wanted to. It's up to you. So now we're going to add some color to the spreadsheet. Here I'm going to make this one green with the yellow font. Going to use Format Painter to copy this down to the expense line and also down to the profit and loss line. So for Jack, Jill, other, I'm going to make this the background purple and yellow fonts, and I'm going to do the same thing going across here and for each expense as well. here we're going to double click on Format Painter and then just do the same thing going all the way across. And then under jacket, Jack, Jill, and other, we'll double click Format Painter and take care of all the expense categories as well. Then we'll come back up. Grab a click here once, hold down Shift. Just highlight one row, double click Format Painter, click this one row. It's going to format paint the whole row, and we'll just keep on clicking down until we get all the rows covered. Okay, the next one's going to be the total lines. I like using this tan color with a yellow font. The same thing for these amounts. Tan, yellow, double click Format Painter. Grab D54, scroll all the way over, hold down Shift, double click Format Painter, and then click on D56. So now it's looking pretty good, except we have to still do the headers. Okay, for this one I'm going to use a light blue with a yellow background. Double click Format Painter. The last part is to get rid of the white background, and I'm just going to turn it to black. And here you can just click, hit F4, you can do it real quick by using F4. Scroll all the way over, hold down Shift, click F4, turn to black. Same thing down down here. So now I think it's really nice with the black background, the way that we have it color schemed. And I'll show you once we start closing these up, close up the groupings, how it looks. So now I think it looks really nice. Here's January, your income, total expenses, profit and loss with your gain. And here's year-to-date totals. And then you can open it up and look on the inside and see what's with the different colors. It really stands out. Really tell the difference. So it's up to you what colors you guys want, but I kind of like this. So here's what it looks like when it's completely done with the groupings. And here's our income expenses January through December and the colors that we have. And we can close this up here. And so we just see January and year to date. Looks really nice. Open up February.